Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. I need each and every vessel to hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the Galactic family, the GCVs, and of course, Drew Nation. Let's get right into it. They're too salty because God hasn't stopped blessing you yet, and it's caused them to have an emotional meltdown. Those evil looks you get, those people that just look like they can't stand you, if you're not doing anything to them and they have a problem with you for no reason, it's probably because they're too salty. They see that God is blessing you and wonderful things are taking place in your life. Some things have changed for you and they switched up. They used to either speak to you or they used to be some kind of friend or used to be friendly, but now because some new opportunities came into your life, they're getting salty, and you can tell. You can see that this person's behavior did a 360, and it's kind of weird because this was someone who you would least expect to behave that way, but they changed, and you can tell. You can see it as clear as day that this just isn't going to do well for them to see you succeed. It's not going to be a good experience for them to see you win. But the fact that they're salty, it shows you that this person wants what you have. And when people get salty over seeing you win and they want what you have, you got to be careful around people like that, because that's dangerous. When someone wants something that you have and they start to give you the evil eye because they won't work towards it, but they want what you have instead of going out and getting it themselves. They just don't want you to have it because they want it, or they want it because you have it. That gets dangerous. You got to be careful of people who want something because you have it. That person is not focused on what they can do for themselves. They're too focused on what you're doing for yourself, unfortunately. And you may no longer be able to deal with this person if they continue to display this type of behavior, because that's like a bishop and juice situation. All right, people, like that girl, man. That girl, she took all her friends on vacation, and her friends backdoored her. She was a nail tech. She had her own salon. She was doing hair. She was doing all these things. She had her own business. Very young, beautiful young lady. She was in her 20s or her early 30s, I believe. And she took her friends on a vacation, and she didn't even come back alive. She didn't even come back alive, all for doing something good for the people who she called friends. I want you to think about that for a second. Imagine working your way up to the top. What is the top for you? Coming from poverty, or coming from a bad experience in life, or coming from nothing, coming from all that you went through, all that you've been through up until that point to make your dream become a reality. And you finally have won. You're making ends meet, and you're even doing more than making ends meet. You're able to provide for yourself and even able to do something good for your friends. The people you probably went to school with, people you knew since you was in diapers, maybe people you knew since you was a kid, people that you was on the same block with, people that you was in the same neighborhood with, people that you possibly even rode the bus with, people that you done worked with. Maybe you was at your first job. This is somebody that you knew used to make sandwiches together. Now you done got your own business. You done got your own business. You're doing it big. You not only do you have your own business, but you have the building that goes along with it as a young person. You know how accomplished you are, you know how blessed you are, you know how good it feels to not have to go to work and to do what other people are doing, and you're living your dream. She took her friends on vacation. She's living her dream. She's got her shop back home. She's got her business back home, just wants to take a break. But her ungrateful friends backdoored her and murdered her. And now she's no longer here because she has some jealous friends. And this was someone that was doing something nice for her friends. This is someone that loved her friends. She wanted to do something good for them because she felt that they were good to her. She felt that they were supportive of her. But her friends ended up taking her life. Her friends ended up killing her out of straight up jealousy, out of straight up envy, out of straight up hatred for her because she had her own business. She had the salon, she had the building, she had the clients, she had the success. And her friends ended up taking her out. It becomes dangerous when people want what you have. It is dangerous because they can go out and work for it and get it themselves. But when they're not, their mind is being used for evil. A devil's idle mind is a devil's workshop. People's minds are being used for evil when they're mad at you for having something and they're not going out and getting it themselves. When somebody has something that you want, even if you get mad about it, that anger is supposed to motivate you. Not just because you get mad about something that someone has that make you a killer, but it should motivate you. But when people get to thinking, when people get to focusing on what you have and not necessarily focused on what's going well for them in their life, and they get to contemplating and thinking about all the things that are going wrong because they're not doing anything, and they get that anxiety, they feel like they're going to be left behind, their insecurities start to get to them, and they don't use all that and transform that into some motivation and some hard work. If you aren't able to motivate the people around you, you might and they're looking at you with disdain, and you can tell, and you're just like, oh, that's just so and so. No, it's not. The something evil has gotten into so and so, and you have to be careful around so and so because that person is not who you think they are anymore. That person has done a 360 and changed on you, just like that girl's friends changed on her on had the nerve to do it on a vacation. I understand if y'all work. I mean, I don't understand it, but I mean, it's different when I mean, it's really it's. I can't even say that. It's no words for that. It's no words for that. You know, whether they would do it at the shop, whether they did it anywhere, it's no words for that. You don't do that to your friend. It's no words for that at all. That's an awful thing to do to your friends. But what you have to do is you have to be careful about who you bring around you and who you make your friends. You got to be careful about who you bring around you and who you make your friends because who everybody that you think is a friend is not your friend. Everybody who you think is a friend is not your friend. Some people are salty and they don't call it salty for no reason. It's that cortisol stressing people out. Your success is stressing some people out. And they get so irritated. Some people, they get so irritated that they have to be around you that they end up taking that out on you, and they end up doing something very evil. They end up committing an evil act. They might try to food poison you. You think it's all love. You think you're around people. You think it's all love and friends and all good, and people will do things to you behind your back because they feel some type of way about you, and you make them feel some type of way, and they it's not a good way. It's like something that just it brings the worst out of them. Sometimes the best in you will bring the worst out of people, and it's sad, but it's real. And when you see the worst coming out of someone, you better believe it. You have to trust it. Unfortunately, this young lady did not trust it. She didn't see it. She put her friends before she put her friends before her own life. She put her friends before herself. And I know she was just being a good person. But sometimes, being a good person can be a detriment to your life. Being putting other people first and being a good person, that is dangerous. Being nice to people and being a good person to people, even when you see them changing, and even when you see them switching up, and you know what, I'm gonna hope for the best for this person. You have to do it from a distance, because it could become potentially dangerous. It could become very dangerous. People get envious of success, and sometimes when you becoming successful, you have to just be about your business, and you have to just be about your own business by yourself. Because if not, when people get salty, when people get certain chemicals flowing through them, they can have a chemical imbalance. They could snap. They could be thinking the wrong thoughts, feeding their mind with the wrong thoughts, and hook up with one of those negative thoughts. And then they act out on it because they lost all control over themselves. The person didn't have control over themselves. You have to be careful of the company that you keep when you are working towards becoming successful. It's real and it's not a joke. And you have to stay prayed up and ask God to reveal the snakes in the grass. Ask God to reveal to you who's supposed to be around you and who's not. Because your people can switch up on you and people could change up on you, and it could become a horrific type of situation like this one. I wish this would have never happened to this young lady. She had the whole world in the palm of her hand. She had her whole life ahead of her. Young lady with a business, um, in her community or wherever she had this business at. Um, she was doing her thing. She was setting herself up to be very successful. She was setting herself up to not have any worries about any money. She was going to not have to struggle anymore. I'm sure she wasn't going to have to work for anyone but herself. And unfortunately for her friends threw that all down the drain. Her friends threw her new life that she created for herself, that she tried to share with them, all down the drain. Not everybody is supposed to go where you're going. She'd have been better off taking that vacation by herself. She might have been alone. She might have not had any friends, but she would probably still be here if she did not keep the type of company that she kept with those foul people that she called friends. Those people that she kept close to her because those were the people she knew. Unfortunately, people are comfortable with what they know and are afraid of what they don't know. The mind is afraid of the unknown. You got to ask God to allow you to not be afraid of the unknown. You have to learn from other people's experiences, and you have to learn from the things that other people go through. So that way you can avoid these types of situations yourself. Because if you watch my channel, I know there's something big you want to do. I know there's something amazing you see yourself doing. I know you see yourself as a great person and a good person. But not only do you have to be good to others, but this is why I always say, put yourself first. That young lady put herself first and put herself on that plane by herself and went on vacation by herself. She will probably still be here. And you know what I mean? My heart goes out to that situation and her family, but she has some toxic friends, and her friends were her downfall. The people that she shouldn't have had around her were her downfall. The people that she was trying to share her new life with and share her blessings with was her downfall. Sometimes what God has for you is just for you and no one else. And that's real. Sometimes what God has for you is not for them. It's only for you. Only for you. You're the one working. You're the one believing. You're the one dreaming. If they're not on the same type of time as you, if you notice any type of scowl, any type of mean look, any type of switch up, any type of change, don't wait for stuff to hit the fan. Don't wait for things to go sour. Don't wait for arguments. Don't wait for more negativity. At the slightest drop of a hat, the slightest infraction, you got to be like a referee, blow the whistle on. You got to call a foul. You got to call a foul on the play because they're playing foul. And when people are playing foul around you, you got to call a foul on the play, and that's it. You don't give people no second chances, none of that. You can't, not today. It's a different type of energy being put out today. It's a different type of frequency being put out today. People are listening to certain things over and over and over again, and it's the messages that they're putting out in the music, messages that they're putting out in the TV, messages that they're putting out in everything. And these things have always happened and take place, but it's just happening more. It's like they're purposely putting people on this kind of frequency to just where just murder and death and all that stuff is okay. And certain people, that's just like, that's what they want to be. But not only that, and that's not all of it, that's just part of it. But certain people, her friends were probably narcissistic and she couldn't tell. She probably wasn't aware. And that's why it's very important to stay prayed up and ask God to show you who's supposed to be in your life and who is not. You never know what the enemy is up to. You never know who the devil's going to try to use. You never know who's evil and who's not until you ask God to reveal them to you. And you have to be aware of the signs. All right, when people switch up on you, when people don't clap for you, when people aren't happy for you, when people seem like they don't want to see you succeed or win, when they change the subject up every time you bring up something good about you, they don't want to hear about it. You got to be careful and wareful of people like that. They don't want to hear anything good about you. They're probably not going to want to see anything good happen for you. And you have to be smart. And not to say this young lady wasn't smart, but her friends were probably real deceptive. Her friends were some Decepticons. And unfortunately, they cheated this young lady out of her life, her future, and her business. They cheated her out of all her hard work and out of all her effort. It took time. It takes believing in yourself. It takes everything that you could, blood, sweat, and tears, everything that you put out into the universe, everything that you put out into yourself, your goals, everything that you tell yourself. When you told yourself yes when everybody told you no. And her friends had the nerve to be that envious and that jealous of her because she was able to do her own thing. You have to be careful of people who are not doing the same thing as you, who can and who aren't, but want what you have. People are salty. People are too salty when they want what you have and they won't go work for it themselves. They won't go try to get it themselves. They don't see it for themselves. Somebody who doesn't see something for you, not only can they not see it for you, but sometimes they don't want to see it for you. And when people show you a certain side of them, you better believe it. You have to believe it. This is why God says, be ye separate and come out from amongst them. You have to be separate from the people who aren't headed in the same direction as you. If you see someone headed one way and you're headed another way, you have to sever ties with certain people because it could get ugly. And it's no coming back once things get ugly. It's no coming back. Can't try to make something good out of something bad when it comes to someone who's just choosing the bad. Someone who's not choosing better for themselves. She tried to take them on vacation, I'm sure, to try to show them that there's more to life, to try to show them that there's better out there, to try to motivate them. But no, you have to do that from a distance now. You can't motivate people and take them on vacation with you and try to show them the good life and show them all the things that you've earned. No, 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 no. They're just going to have to see you when you're passing by, when you're driving by. They're just going to have to send them a postcard because, people get foul, and it's, people will hide it. they will hide. Instead of being real and upfront and honest, sometimes friends will be fake and they'll hide how they feel. And hiding how they feel, it they held in they held that in until it manifested into something evil. This is why you have to keep it real with yourself. And if other people can't keep it real with you, if you notice people are being fake and doing one thing and saying another, you have to be careful. And I'm pretty sure that there were signs that her friends were quote unquote friends were giving her, but she was probably so good of a person she probably couldn't even tell. She probably couldn't even tell. That's why man, you have to be careful about the company you keep. You have to be careful about the company you keep. Les Brown says only quality people. You have to surround yourself with only quality people. Les Brown calls it OQP. Only quality people. I was around some people and I said only quality people. And the next day, the gentleman was dead. He died. I was around some people. I looked around who was there. I went to visit a friend, and that was the last time that I went to go visit that friend. And I put some space between me and them. And the person that I saw them dealing with, that person died the same day. I said only quality people. It's certain positive. When God brings positive people into your life, it's not just for you to just feel good. It's not just for you to be motivated all the time. It feels good. It motivates you. Sometimes it's to save your life. You never get a chance to make a life-saving decision. I mean, you never get a chance to make a decision that's going to take you out of here again. You never get a chance to make a decision that's going to take you out of here again. Once you make a decision that takes you out of here, you are out of here. And if it wasn't for Les Brown, that man saved my life, because listening to him, that was a godsend. And when positive people come into your life with positive messages, you should know that God is playing a huge part in that. And don't take that for granted. And I don't take any of the people that I learned from for granted. Les Brown said only quality people. I said that in a room full of people. And that same day after I left, that person died. I was looking around the room and it wasn't even me that spoke. It was God that spoke. God spoke that day. That was not me. That wasn't me. And God used me to say only quality people, because God will use you as a vessel to warn people. God will use you as a sounding trumpet to let people know that they're headed in the right direction or the wrong direction. And that's why it's a blessing to be able to get another day and to be able to do something positive with your life, so that way God can use you. And it's a blessing, and you're blessed to let God use you. Because I'm telling you, I said only quality people, and the next day, well, no, it was that day that he was out of here that night. God rest his soul. He was out of here that night when I left shortly after that young man was out of here. Right after I said OQP, only quality people. You can't trust everybody. You got to make sure you have to make sure the company you keep is a reflection of you, because the company you keep is a reflection of you. You got to make sure the company you keep is a reflection of you, because the company you keep is a reflection of you. You have to choose wisely when it comes to the company that you keep. This is real, y'all. This is not a game. You have to choose the right people, make the right friends, and only be around people. You don't have to be around people who are interested in everything you're interested in. I'm not telling you if you like cars and they like boats, I'm not saying y'all can't be friends, but you have to be around the same people who have similar interests as you. Somebody wants to go somewhere in life and be successful, that's your friend. If somebody doesn't really seem too motivated and doesn't want to do anything and is just going through the motions, you may not want to associate with that person. Not to say that they're a bad person, but you want to be around people who have the same goals and ambition as you. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Smash the like button and smash the share button. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. We out.